Hello, wonderful cook. This is the cook along series from my cookbook, and we're going to make the soup on page 23, and it's the first soup, and it's very versatile. It's zucchini and sweet potato. I've got onion, and you can, if you don't like to use oil, you don't have to use oil, but it does give it a little better flavor if we use oil. So I'm just putting a splash of oil in there. If you weren't using oil, whoops. If you weren't using oil, you could put some water to cook the onions and also put some celery in as well. So we'll just put the onions in. So if you're doing cooking along with me, just prepare the onions, the sweet potato, and the zucchini and the garlic before. And I'm just going to use stock as a seasoning, but it is super versatile because you could definitely make this a curry soup by adding curry powder. Or you could add some of the garam masala to it that we made in one of the first videos. So I'm just going to add a little sprinkling of salt to help the onions cook down. And this time I'm not going to leave the pepper till the end. So I'm going to pop the pepper in and give that a stir. And then at this stage you could put your garlic in. I have got some garlic flowers from the garden from last year that I'm going to use instead of garlic. So I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of garlic flowers. In the cookbook, I said 2 cloves of garlic. And you could put more garlic. In the days that I first wrote the cookbook, I wasn't using a lot of garlic and onion, but you could definitely add more garlic. And this recipe I'm doing now is I'm halving it because it makes quite a lot. So we're going to put the sweet potato in, and I harvested these from the garden this morning. So to keep them from going brown, I've put them, or oxidizing is the term, I put them in water after I cut them. So we'll give that a good stir. And then we'll add the zucchini. So that was 2 zucchinis, which is around 500 grams. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of stock powder, and this is an organic one with no preservatives in it. Yay! And then a litre of water. Now, if you like a thicker soup, you could add less water. You could have 750 mils of water, but I like a thinner soup when it's a blended soup. So I added a full litre of water. I'll put a little bit more pepper in, and then we will let that cook for 20 minutes. So pause the video here. It's ready, and some people could eat it like that, but we're actually going to process it so it's a smooth soup. And before we process it, I just want to show you the garlic flowers because they're so pretty, and explain those. So they were growing on top of the garlic before I harvested it last year, and then I just dehydrated them and I can use them instead of garlic. So that's those. And now we will process the soup. You could roughly process it. If you have time to let it cool down, you can put it in your Vitamix when it's cool, and that will make a really nice smooth soup. But I'm just going to use the handheld. Would be good to turn it on. And I'm going to add 125 mils of soy milk. That'll cool it down a little bit. And add some protein because there's not very much protein in this soup. Okay, that's nice and processed. And it is a thin soup. And like I said before, it doesn't have very much protein in it. So there are a few things. Look at it. It's a nice thin soup. If you did want to make it a bit thicker, you could put a bit of cashew cream in it. But I like it thin. And there's a few things you can do to make it have more protein. You could add some cooked rice or cooked quinoa, cooked lentils. But what I'm going to do is I'll show you. I'm going to ladle some out into this bowl. Yummy lunch coming up! Woohoo! So ladle some of that in. And then I've made, and this is in about page 42-ish, I've made just a few tofu crumbles. There's tempeh crumbles in the book. I have to admit, why there's only a few, I've eaten half of them. So it's tofu crumbled up with smoked paprika, tamari, and I put some ground fennel. And so then we'll just put that on the soup, and that'll add plenty of protein. Bon appetit, Mr. Cameraman. We did it, everyone. Bye. Hello, wonderful cook. I hope you enjoyed that recipe. I would love it if you wrote a comment. I love receiving comments and I'll always reply. Also, please like and subscribe. And if you look below, there's a link to sign up for my free iron rich ebook and weekly recipes. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.